learning how to understand your neighbor and your enemies and God himself. And therefore be blessed. For if you don't know God, you are slaves to whatever is left over, the ignorance. All is saved by love, being of love, for without love you have no faith. Let it not be of works or of boasting or dogma. That is only done, one wishes to be a God over you rather than you rule over yourself and to be your brother. There are things that are called, people that are called God. That's only because you're an empty vessel and you are connected to God. That is the only reason you are called God. It's in the Bible. It says they are gods. But there's some people that worship death and they try to channel people that passed on. And if you are unable to differentiate that, then you fall for anything because you're not living by the code. So if someone breaks the code, they cannot call themselves God because they are not the vessel of God. And Yeshua spoke in such a way that people to this day, in other words, there are Christians that say that Christ is God, and there are Christians that say, well, he was anointed. Anointed man, which was direction. We'll go into that in Gnosis again. So anyway, it is this Yeshua, but again, Yeshua quoted the Bible a lot. So a lot of things, they didn't change, but people try to make it like it is changed. So they try to create a whole new religion. Again, I'm going into, but everything is related. That's just the point I'm making, because people think that this subject is separated from that subject, or separated from that subject, but that's not true. You'll find out that there's a correlation and a tie between this and between that, between you and between me, between the air I breathe and the air you breathe. Everything is recycled over when we're actually correlating with one another to help or hurt one another, so we can grow or not grow through this understanding. Just as a knife sharpens a knife. And that no one is to act or to be your God or your superior, but once you are a God with a little g, not a big G, and you correlate with another person who is a God, little g, and you'll be able to live as gods. So only if you have that understanding of a God and another person has an understanding of a God, and when you get together, you can feel them and you're like, wow, and then God is in the midst. When there's ever two or more that, are with that structure, God is definitely in the mix, and you can feel the fire, the pureness, the love. And it's real. That's a real energy. And some people deliberately know that you're feeling that, and they'll go in and bust it up. They'll bust up the relationship you're having with some because they know. But once there's too many people doing that, you can't bust anybody up anymore. Now you'd be lucky you don't get busted up. Try to bust up something beautiful. So no one is to act above you and judge you in that sort of respect. So, again, you are not a slave, but a freed man. But the freed man, in order to be freed, one has to be reborn and one has to be shown the way. Otherwise, they're going to show you a way that is not the way, and they want you to walk off the cliff. They won't walk off the cliff with you. Eventually they will, because they're leading the way. But most likely is that somebody will be falling off, and I'm like, wait a minute, what about you? And they'll grab you and throw you in there with them. You mean to tell me I got to go on over this cliff and you ain't coming? Oh, no, you coming with us. So once you follow the code then becomes your master. And you know that the code becomes their master. So now you become brothers. Not because of skin color, but because of our source, which is the ending. It's a circle. So many do not have the ability to decipher these parables in these different books. It's a comprehension of dialect. It was written in such a way that the true followers will grow and prosper, while others only become more hypocritical and contradict almost every word, even in a straight fashion, using the Holy Scriptures, or any scripture for that matter, for self-gratification. And there's some people that use it for sex. God told me you got to have sex with me. You'd be like, is that right? For what reason? And it gets worse with some of these people. That's why you got to know the real code. So if somebody try to pull that, I was like, oh no. I mean, unless you want to marry the person, but you're not going to be tricked into doing something that you think is unreasonable or something's wrong with it, trying to say that that's the way and the only way you're going to get to heaven is by having sex with this guy. I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep a straight face. I should have. I don't know. If I'd have done this from a long time ago, and I probably would have been more serious. But again, this is old hat to me. But eventually, it'll be old hat to you once you get all the system, and then you'll. It's almost like you took the blinders off. Like the Bible says, the blind leading the blind. But eventually your blinders come off and you'll be like, no thanks, there's a cliff there. There's a cliff there. You keep walking, bro. You want me to go? You keep walking. I'm walking towards the ocean the other way. All right, let's try to get serious. So it was... we need a synergy between that same source. So this agent or the person, the organization, goes back to the source, to a combined power. And that gives you real power, unseen, but it's there. It's felt. It's understood. And some people can see this ahead of time. So if there's a war, they won't even show up. They'll be like, nah, the people together. They're gonna slam you like it's a wrestling match. So you need to create this fluid state of the self-sustaining energy, a continuous propulsion of being, of intelligence, because you're gonna be locked into like this supreme knowledge that leads to a very impressive growth. Forget about your skin color. Hell, your skin color might help. It may work as a better antenna because we're all antennas and we all have books. That's it. All the books that are over our brain, basically this is your whole structure, your whole belief structure that you believe. But many people have the wrong book on their head. They need to take that book down, fix it, and then put it back in their brain, and they'll be like, "Oh, is that what the problem was? I feel much better now." So there's this negative synergy, aka antithesis of this negative energy between source, agent, and the organization back to the source. To compound the power to work against one another. But it can be used to work with one another when the individual on a positive level starts to merge with other positive beings to create a fluid state as opposed to an unfluid state, which gives energy and as opposed to exhaust energy and eradicate perpetuation that leads to destruction. Therefore, moving all criminal agents and all negative agents to become restructured from a positive source to help them, because these people are hurting. It's like when you grab an animal that he got this big dagger on his side, and he's fighting you. He's like, rawr! He's trying to bite you and kill you. You gotta pull him down, not kill him, but you gotta hold him down and move that whatever is wounding him, the knife or the toothpick between his foot, his nails. And so once you take it out, he'll look at you like confused. He'll say, I thought you was gonna kill me. Here you are, you done help me and heal me. Next thing you know, that wild animal, whole demeanor change. It's totally beautiful. He starts to lick your face. He starts to purr. He wants to be around you all the time. Next thing you know, you got your best friend walking around you. Somebody touch you, that tiger, or whatever that animal would be, hold on, whatever. You're going to take an army to get him off. But anyway, so we go to a positive force of restructuring their lives to help them see, which then they will learn, and then merge their best side in which they were born with, creating this effortless structure into a quantum leap of connectedness of this micro to macro or macro to micro for a positive synergy. So they'll move the negative into a positive synergy that flows, that we can all excel from the micro to the macro in fractal form down, and you can actually see it and how it works, and you won't be able to recognize people. You'll see one person one day and you see him again, you'll be like, whoa, what happened? You're not even that person. You're somebody else. You're a lying motherfucker. You can't be him. The last person I know was dirty, smelly, evil, and nasty, and you're all sweet and looking good. And you see how it all changed now. You go from ugly to beautiful, and I'm talking about a real beautiful, not your outward appearance, but from inside that radiates without. It's like a reverse fractal matrix where Neo is merging into the world of Neos. All of us like shooting stars, onwards and upwards in perpetual motion in space, mentally and physically, where the entire world goes from these dark, blinding, gloomy glasses to clear yellow glasses where you can see everything in real beautiful form. And this is a real thing. This is not something that's invented. But in order for you to feel this, to be enlightened by this, you got to walk in that direction. You got to go in that way. And once you do, it won't take much, because most people, when they have negative, they'll go deeper into negative. So you feel worse and worse because you're a slave to this negative. But if the negative comes up to you and they go negative, you go positive in a good direction. Many times it'll confuse a negative person. They'll just walk away more confused. But you, while they're still going from negative to negative, now, instead of you going the usual negative way, you was like, nah, let me not do this. Let me do this. So instead of beating the hell out of your kid, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm going to sit down and try to talk to my little kid. Sit him down next to you. Listen, this ain't the way, and this is going to lead to bad. And then out of nowhere, you're not feeling the negative on negative. You're going to feel the negative that was given to you, but you defeated it with positive, and out of nowhere, God will come to you. And then you start to feel something. You'll be like, what's this? Something's going on. What's happening? You might grab your couch or your bed. You're like, something's happening. And then when you get that gift, and it'll come to you. It's just like the devil. You don't got to look for the devil. The devil will come to you. Some people try to look for and make a deal. No. I make no deals. If he walks down this street, I'm like, nah, I'm just going down that way. But eventually, he may just come to you personally. Yeshua made that point. But other people made that point too. Some people make the deal, some people won't. And your decision will either rise you to a higher, better power, which is better than wealth, or you might be stuck more in misery, even with the wealth. So again, there's curses and blessings, and prejudice and ignorance goes hand in hand. It's not the skin color, but it's the problem of a perceiving of ignorance. You can either awaken to God in you by following God, ergo the way, or the unway. Ever since you were born, you were deceived to hate yourself and hate each other, and cast these spells of deception through words and ignorance, especially the N-word, or saying you're black. With so many different spells of words that you can call yourself. You call yourself something that has a negative semantic meaning, negative semantic meanings of pain, of self-hatred. But you can awaken spiritually and connect yourselves to the God, to become a God, or to become the God in the family of God. So it's like a last name. God is the dad. So therefore you have your name and your God. But again, Lord G, and only if you follow the way. So then some people don't like the word God. Perhaps maybe they should use angels if you find that a problem. But remember, when you call yourself a God, you're not the God. Once you get in the nose, you'll see exactly why and how it's the difference. But again, the Bible mentions it. A lot of people mention it. It's so mentioned that even throughout history, many people were called gods and were worshipped. So there was a real person at one point, then they made him a god, then they made statues of him or books, and next thing you know, you're worshiping that person, as opposed to the way that got him there, which is the real way, the path. So the knowledge is the path, and it is you that can follow your father's, or who you choose to be your father, and follow that way or unway. And only winning if you follow the true way. So following life, God within God, the vessel that is filled with God. So we must awaken the spiritual connectivity within ourselves. And once you continue walking the path of the human instruction and you finished all the 12 lessons, you'll be able to make the decision even greater and feel the true source of unlimited power and knowledge. Your knowledge is going to grow, your talents are going to become better, smarter, stronger, but not through ignorance, but through wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Is the only way you're going to take your power back from the ways of deception that keep you enslaved by your own hand of ignorance. For those who wield power by orchestrating these words that they have picked for you to merge of either one people in one mind, of one true energy and power, or the opposite of self-destruction. There is only one path to freedom, and the freedom to grow, just like there is only one bondage to die. And it is not the change that makes it, but your mind. You're not rejuvenating your mind, and that's what was called the second birth, or to be born again. even the way you dress,